Pixar making their version of Avatar with beavers? Count me in. Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner and welcome to my review of Hoppers. This is the newest animated film from Pixar. Our main character is Mabel, a young advocate for protecting wildlife. When a mayor is planning to destroy a glade with a freeway, her last chance comes at a scientific invention called Hoppers, which allows humans and an animal robot to communicate with other animals. Mabel, as a beaver, attempts to save the glade. Are you a new viewer coming across this channel for the first time? If so, welcome to my channel. I am Jack Benner. I do movie reviews on here, both old and new, and from time to time I do some lists on here, either a top 5 or ranking video. So if you're looking for either in-depth movie reviews or exciting top 5 lists, definitely considering that like and subscribe button for more exciting movie content down the road. Pixar has forever been an animation studio I've adored, that have made countless iconic and unforgettable films in their filmography, from nostalgic childhood favorites of mine that I watched on VHS like Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo growing up. And they made not only some of my favorite animated movies of all time, but some of my favorite movies of all time. And they've been influential for not only my love of animation, but my love of film in general. And every time Pixar comes up with an original idea that's not a sequel or a prequel, I'm always excited to see it. And I'm not against them doing sequels unless it's one I'm actually excited for and has a good idea. Although nowadays I do wish they more focus on original ideas instead of sequels. And with 2020's Pixar movies in this current decade, not too hit and miss. They have made mostly good movies, but not quite the same level as like their incredible movies. A lot of films in this current decade of Pixar I give like either a B+ or an A- to. The one Pixar movie in the 2020s so far I give an A+ to is Soul. That movie is phenomenal. Luca, Inside Out 2, I also thought were great. Elio was good, not great, but enjoyable one that should have done much better financially. And easily the weakest one was Lightyear. That movie was just meh and got worse for me over the years. When this project was first announced at D23 in 2024, so I was interested when I heard Pixar was doing a sci-fi nature movie with a beaver. And when I first saw the teaser trailer, it did show promise of an interesting concept, looking funny, and I was also liking the animation style it was doing. It's always interesting to see Pixar experiment with new animation styles, doing something a bit more expressive like turning red and doing something a little bit less photorealistic, although they have definitely reached stunning heights with photorealistic looking animation. And with 2 Pixar movies in 2026, we just had this movie and we got Toy Story 5 coming out this June. How was Hoppers? Is it one of their better films or one of their weaker films? I am happy to say this is definitely one of their better films they have done in quite some time. Hoppers is funny, inventive, and heartfelt, and a great new addition in Pixar's filmography. To start my pros on what is absolutely praiseworthy in Hoppers, like always with Pixar, the animation is absolutely fantastic. It is expressive, energetic, and altogether beautifully animated. The director of Hoppers is Daniel Chong from the Cartoon Network show We Bare Bears, a show I've never seen. But I have been getting the impression watching this movie with his humor and animation style. And he's been involved as a Pixar creative team member for most of their 2020s movies so far. And I'm so happy to see him get his directorial debut in Pixar and be as good as it is. And hey, if he wants to direct another Pixar movie down the road, I'll be very happy. Given his Cartoon Network background, he does incorporate his cartoony and zany nature into this high-level, detailed, and expressive animation style, just from certain facial expressions from characters that were hilarious, how they move, and the energy. While that part of the animation is great, I loved how beautifully it captured the nature of wildlife, through its beauty, the details from the grass or the trees, or there are some scenes where beavers are walking through the grass and just how that moves looks stunning. And all the animal sizes, large like bears or small like ants or other ones. And even the terrific attention to detail like each strand on Mabel's hair. It's still stunning. Like all these years, Pixar never ever disappoints when it comes to their animation. And even in their weaker films, their animation always looks great. And second, the characters, they're great here. Mabel is a fantastic new Pixar protagonist that's funny, likable, and she's devoted to protecting the wildlife she holds dearly to her heart. Her charm, passion, and energy makes her such an endearing protagonist. And I love the friendship she forms with the Beaver King, George, who teaches her about pond rules and animals living in harmony, and he made for a really fun supporting character. And luckily, many other animal characters get their comedic moments to shine, such as this cool as a cucumber beaver named Loaf, or this very hungry bear named Ellen, and through other animal characters get their fun presence too. And if you've seen the marketing for this film, Tom the Lizard, he's so funny. And I should also mention, there's a butterfly queen in this movie, voiced by Meryl frickin' Streep in this movie. Had no idea she was in this, but hey, great to see her in this. And if there was one who I thought was very funny, it would be this character Titus, who was voiced by Dave Franco, someone else who I didn't know was in this movie. And he is particularly hilarious, just his high-pitched voice. And it was just so unrecognizable. At first, I couldn't tell it was him, but then later in the climax, the more unhinged he gets, it starts to pop into my mind. I was like, wait, that's who I think it is, right? And then I checked the credits. I was like, yep, that's definitely Dave Franco. And this animated role was such a treat for him to just go over the top into voice acting, and I loved it. And another voice actor who I thought did a great job was John Hamm as Mayor Jerry. And this character could have been easily a one-note generic throwaway villain that's more focused on wanting to build a highway and I don't care about the animals. But not only in the third act, and when things get insane, not only does he get a chance to be funny, but also gets a very well-earned character arc that I love seeing. And what's great about Hoppers, this movie has a terrific blend of humor and heart. This is definitely one of the funniest Pixar movies in years, including dark humor that adults will definitely get a kick out of. And there's even one part in the third act that almost felt like a horror movie, and I was surprised to see it. I was like, okay, I didn't expect it to be this dark. This movie has a lot of wit and fun fish out of water comedy with Mabel, a human brain inside an animal robot, a beaver, and the many character interactions and lines were just so funny in this film. And this movie was definitely not afraid to gleefully embrace its zaniness. But I still think it's finds its way to be charming and entertaining without going too ridiculous, and still find that blend without being tonally inconsistent. And while I thought this movie was funny for the first two acts, when we get to the third act and things get wild and chaotic, it's such a blast. It's just laugh out loud hilarious, the antics, how insane it gets. It was a riot, like, oh. But luckily, the film never forgets about its strong emotional core to elevate this film tenfold. And it does know when to take its time with its characters to develop them, make the story interesting. With Mabel's adoration for animals and protecting the wildlife, and her connection to her grandma is a pivotal role to that. And that entire first act with Mabel and her grandma, I thought it was very poignant and touching. It was all well paced and heartwarming. It just gives you enough information about Mabel right from the beginning to make her an interesting character and funny too. Now, this film does have environmental messages, another Pixar film to talk about the environment since WALL-E, and like that film, I thought its messages on handling that subject matter was done excellently. Different from a film like WALL-E to show how far civilization has gone, with the humans evacuating Earth to somewhere cleaner, nicer, and futuristic, and I thought this film was just like gonna be always agreeing with Mabel, just gonna be on her side throughout, but truthfully, this is not a one-sided movie at all. And it's not afraid to show the extreme sides on both. How much people are willing to go to either protect or destroy the environment. I mean, sure, what Jerry is doing with the environment is damaging to the animals, their habitats and their homes and relocating. But then also, when they decide to squish the humans, like how a human would squish an insect, and it does show like, yeah, this is pretty extreme of what they might do to humans. It does show how far people go in both of these situations, but that's not going to change much. People are still going to do what they're going to do. And there are a lot of powerful scenes in the third act when things get intense, and I thought it made for an emotionally cathartic third act that really helped with the messages of this film. And I feel like it's done greatly for both kids and adults to understand. As for any issues with the film, I do have a few. First, this movie does admittedly get a bit predictable at times, to where some things I knew were going to happen or certain revelations were going to occur, this character is going to find out this. And second, where I did enjoy the second act of this movie where Mabel is a beaver, that part of the film where she's adjusting to the wildlife does drag a little bit. The second act does kind of feel like the weaker part of the movie compared to the first and third act of the film in my opinion. To sum up, it brings me much joy to report Hoppers is a funny, endearing, heartwarming, and delightful addition to Pixar's filmography. Amusing characters, beautiful animation, both funny and heartwarming equally. I definitely recommend this movie to you if you're a huge Pixar fan, excited to see this movie. This won't be a disappointment, and the concept and the trailers look appealing to you, definitely go see it. And if you're looking for a fun, animated family film to go see at the movies, go see it. While Go was a decent start for animation this year, I thought Hoppers was even better. That gives me more hope for animation for the rest of the year. And while I thought last year was kind of an underwhelming year for animation despite a few great films like K-Pop Demon Hunters and Zootopia 2, I definitely think Hoppers is giving me great outlook for a great year for animation this year. And now to grade it, I'm going to give Hoppers 4.5 stars out of 5, an A-. Another victory that overjoyed me on its opening weekend, Hoppers grossed $46 million. Awesome! And a few factors to that would be confident marketing and getting the word out of this film, good timing and less competition, and the word of mouth is definitely helping with critics and audiences. And I definitely think the film will do well being #1 again on its second weekend. And I still think it's going to do great financially for the rest of March until Super Mario Galaxy comes out this April. And that movie is definitely going to make a killing, and the first movie made $1 billion, won't be surprised if it does again. One down for Pixar Films this year, and we got Toy Story 5 coming out this June. That movie I'm excited but skeptical about. I love all 4 Toy Story movies, and I'm a defender of Toy Story 4. I do like the concept of toys versus technologies and the differences between those. So I really hope Pixar does a great job executing that concept. But I am worried of just like, I was satisfied with the ending of 4. Will this one justify its existence? We'll see. I am worried about Toy Story 5 at the moment, but I'll try to be optimistic this June. So where would I rank Hoppers in my Pixar ranking? I don't think it reaches the top 10, but I could consider it at probably top 15 maybe. I'll rank it at number 15, just right between Toy Story 4 at number 14 and Finding Dory at number 16. So that's where Hoppers stays at the moment. And now with Hoppers, here's my ranking of all Pixar movies released in the 2020s so far. Number 9, Lightyear. Number 8, Elio. Number 7, Elemental. Number 6, Turning Red. Number 5, Onward. Number 4, that's where Hoppers is in my ranking. Number 3, Inside Out 2. Number 2, Luca. And number 1 is Soul. So that right there is my 2020s Pixar ranking. And how would you rank those movies in the comments below? So I would like to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of Hoppers? If you've seen it, do you agree, disagree with my review? Or if you haven't seen it, are interested in seeing the film or not, let me know down below. Did you enjoy hearing my thoughts on this movie and want to see more reviews like this in the future? If yes, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new here. And don't forget that notification bell for my next upload in the future. It really means a lot. My social media links are in the description down below. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. And if you'd like to see my render reviews, I do have a letterbox, so if you'd like to follow me on there as well. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.